This is an international podcast transmission. Is anyone out there? If you're listening, you've reached the No Fixed Agenda podcast. Welcome, everybody, to No Fixed Agenda, presented by Bubs Naturals. I'm your co-host, Jeff Stoner. Thank you for joining us again. Little something different we're doing here is our Phone a Friend segment, and it's mainly just an opportunity for me to call friends that I have not talked to in a while, friends that I've known for years and know where all the skeletons are buried. So I felt that this was kind of a good way to kind of catch up with some friends, actually, more than anything else. And I got a good one today. Jen Egbert.
I was like, seriously, Jeff, I was like in my pajamas at 10 minutes ago exactly.
2 minutes ago. I get it.
I was like, oh my God, I have the thing.
Uh-huh. And I've known Jen 2001.
I think
I'm dating us both.
It's over 25 years.
Yeah. Ouch.
It's like 27 years.
Yeah. Let me just first say sorry, maybe, for having to know me that long. I don't know, but
Can you believe how long it's been?
It is, and that's so. I was thinking about this the other day. I was trying to schedule something with Chemo Burley from.
Yeah,
right? You remember Chemo?
Well, so every time, like I go all the time, but when I'm in Maui, I definitely him. Yeah.
So I was thinking about that. I was like, shit, I have
a different life.
100%. But I started thinking about you. So I was thinking about those times when you look at like high school friends, college friends, right? And I don't know about you, but there's maybe one person in college that I semi keep up with. That was my best friend while I was growing up. And him and I have got such weird schedules that it's kind of like we keep up. We're now Instagram friends, but it's kind of one of those things like we always keep up with what's going on with the other. But they're the only ones that he's really only like the longest standing friend that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really have any friends left over from college. All of my
college friends, right?
What's that?
We weren't really college friends.
No, we were post-college because I moved to Boulder in 2001 while I was finishing up grad school.
Okay.
So I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, shit, I don't have any friends in college. I don't really have any friends left over from high school. So all of my longest standing friends, and it shows the friendships that I made in Boulder, that I still talk to 5 or 6 individuals that I knew from Boulder. And that carries over to this now, again, dating us 25 years.
So crazy. That's crazy.
So I can tell the story of how we met, but I want to hear it from you. Like what was the connection point and how did we meet?
Well, we met at the gym. We met at Rally Sport, right?
We met at Rally Sport. Yeah. And at that moment in my life, or that version of my life, I was a personal trainer. And that's how we met. I honestly, I don't even remember how we got connected as far as client and trainer type of scenario.
I think you were just like, you were on the floor. If memory serves at all, right? Like at all. You were on the floor and we were just shooting the shit. Like I had gone in there. I used to like lift by myself. And I was in, and you'll start seeing people over and over again. So you were like, oh, hey, what's going on? That kind of thing.
Yep.
And you're like, I'm a trainer. I mean, I literally think that's how we kind of like struck up conversation.
Yeah, that just shows my cold calling skills were top notch at the Maybe it was one of those things like, there's just another attractive woman that I can go talk to at the gym, whatever.
You're like, hey, what's going on? Oh my God.
And then from there, we just, it's kind of one of those things like, I think we just started kind of talking about the training aspect. And I honestly, I think immediately we started hanging out even as,
Oh,
athlete
totally.
trainer scenario. It was kind of this, you just coming in to work out with a friend almost, in a sense, is really what that's the way I felt, in a sense.
The
Like,
day I had food poisoning and I didn't know it.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because I had never had it before.
How did you not have food poisoning before that?
I was like 20 something, and I just had never had it before. I think growing up, we didn't eat out a lot, we didn't have a lot of money. And so like we didn't eat out a lot. And I can remember exactly what I ate that I got it. And it was at the Med, and it was like a salmon dish.
Oh, see, that's the impactfulness of food poisoning, though, right? Like,
Oh my God.
the first time I got food poisoning was like at an Applebee's at the Louisville airport in Kentucky. And I had like chicken tenders or something crazy. And so again, wow, it's amazing what you can remember.
Totally. I just remember you giving me shit. You're like, you're really off your game. And I'm like, I'm not feeling great. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, you look a little green. I'm like, yeah, I feel a little green. Ugh.
Yeah.
And
so
then I puked in the parking lot after.
And I don't know. And let me apologize to Des if she listens to this, because you honestly met me in my fuckboy stage, to be honest with
Totally
you.
were, because you told me all the stories.
Yeah. So let me preface that, everybody, listeners, don't start giving bad comments just a second. It happens. I was just getting out of college. I just got into, like, my divorce was becoming finalized, and
you and Jake were like,
yeah. So, and the company I kept, God love that man. Who, again, going back to Boulder, Colorado, and the friends I still keep, Jake is still a very close friend of mine. I still see Jake here in San Diego. So the company you keep, so I've told Des many, many times over when we at least first started dating, she's like, what was Boulder like? And I was like, do you really want to know? She's like, no. And I'm like, good, because I don't remember half of it. I honestly, it was this point in my life where it was literally Thursday through Sunday, we drink. Monday through Wednesday, we work. And I don't really remember a lot of that 4-day span for the most part. And literally I also think too that I started working for the sports marketing company, and I was traveling a lot. So it gave me the opportunity to then go F-boy on other parts of the country. And so I don't really remember a lot of Boulder when it comes to like the social scene.
I remember a lot of the stories, Jeff.
Oh, please do share one. And I don't give a shit what you share. Have at it.
Some girl that you were seeing that would like climb in your window at night. Did she live upstairs from you?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, I would hear all these stories.
And yeah. Honestly, I don't even remember her name, which is good. We'll call her Maggie at this point in time. And yes, you and I have the same recollection of who this person was.
Okay. All right.
And yes, there were times when I lived below that I would climb up, and then vice versa sometimes, depending on.
So it was convenient.
It was convenient. And it made it weird because she had a son.
Yep.
Also. So.
Just got married.
Wait, now?
Yeah.
Wow.
The kid.
Oh, the kid the kid just got married. Wow. Again, dating ourselves. So that kid, her son at that point in time was
a little
4.
Yeah.
Ish, whatever. So that made it very interesting for me. The fact that a lot of things were going on while her kid was in the other room, and there were times where, and there were times when I think her ex would take her son, and she was dating somebody at the time. And I don't know if it's her current husband or former husband or whatever it was. Anyway, it was at that point in time. There was times when she asked me to take her over to her then boyfriend's house. And so now I remember this one because this is kind of the last fling I think I had before I started dating my past girlfriend that lived here in San Diego. So that's how I remember this one. But anyway, there was times when she would, hey, I need to go into, we live just on the north end of Boulder. So, Kay, can you take me to so-and-so's house? I don't remember his name, but can you take me to my boyfriend's house? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go into town and drink anyway for a little bit, whatever. And so we cruised in. I would take her to, into town, and on the way to downtown Boulder, she would start giving me head in the car. And then I would find some random spot to park in downtown Boulder where there was barely any lights, and the deed would be finished.
My God.
And at one point in time, I remember we had parked the car and somebody was actually walking by watching it happen at that moment. That's the last I remember of that. And I don't think I ever spoke to her after that. I think. What's that? Yeah, oh yeah, it's back in the vault. So there's very few stories. And now that I was saying that was before Jake actually left and came back because he tried to go do pro baseball.
That's
so
great.
Then him and I got a place over just off of campus. So that's the timeline of that story was about midway through my Boulder experience. But that was the last time that I hooked up with her, because not very long after that, I think she moved in
with or
married
the swing dancer.
The guy. Yeah. So, yeah, that was one. But we did have, there were, at one point in time, Jake and I lived on the third floor of the apartment complex, and there were a couple of girls that would, when the doors were locked, would actually scale the balconies to come up and see us. Yeah. So, I was in this really weird, like, exploratory phase.
Oh my God.
So whatever, it's fine. Anyway,
it's okay.
So I when Des and I first started dating, she's like, "Well, what was Boulder like?" And I was like, "A, I don't remember, but B, you don't want to know. You don't want to hear the stories because it's like there's nothing good that comes out of it. Really, is what it was." And I guess that was kind of the thing. Is Boulder was kind of that Passover. I knew that Boulder, I don't think, was really ever going to be my final stop, I think. And it became this, like, I just need to let everything kind of just fly by the seat of my pants at that point in time. I honestly don't know how I made it at Rally Sport for that long.
I think it was just like we endured a lot of bullshit at that age.
I think so. I think so.
And I could say that about so many jobs, right?
Yeah.
We endured it. We're Gen X. That's what we do.
Yeah. I will say, so I know you're in real estate now. So, but one of the things that, because you were just finishing up grad school, college, you were doing something, you were finishing something
I had
up.
gone back. I dropped out a few times and was finishing up.
So I will say, and if anybody is friends of mine here in San Diego that come over to my house, you will see the beautiful piece of artwork that the photography that Jen did way back in the day. And I believe, because you've asked me, I believe that's the only piece that remains.
The only print that remains. And right before we started our remodel here, I had like all of my negatives from my BFA and I just got rid of everything. So you have the only, I know.
Now I feel like next time I come to Colorado, I'm gonna have to bring it with me.
That's up to you, Des. You can keep it.
And so yeah, that has been hanging in any part of my house as I've moved from pretty much Boulder to well, it hung in a different way. So Des was nice enough to put a really nice frame around it, so I got protected and everything else.
Oh.
But
this
it's
was first she met me, right?
What's that? Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
She's
so
like,
then when she did me, she was like, "Is that?" Yes. I'm like, "That's Jen." But in the photo, you can't. There's nothing. It's your back. No, you can't see anything. Yeah. But it still hangs in my house. It's been hanging in my house for over 25 years.
Rad.
And it is one of my most favorite pieces of photography.
Okay, then you can't give it back to me.
So maybe one of these days it'll make a return. Maybe when I tell you what, maybe when James is old enough to have a house and she has a family and all that stuff, and it's
when I'm dead. When I die, then you can give it to her.
Okay, fair enough. Then somehow she will have that in possession to. But yeah, so that
was actually a really fun project because that was on one of these huge Kodak, like the old timey ones that you see from, that you put your head under a cloth. And so all the film was Kodak instant film, so you would instantly get the slide for it. But it was a cool project that our photography professor then is a guy named Albert Chong, and he is a Jamaican photographer and he did a piece in the 80s that became really famous. And so he had this kick-ass camera that we got to use. But I mean, it was enormous. Like you could get really close and see people's pores and like make their eyelashes stand out. That's and stuff, cool. Yeah, because it was old timey.
Yeah, it was. I think you had it like layered 3 times. I think 3 or 4 times on there and stuff. And it was, and I actually remember you bringing the negatives in or the prints in or whatever it was, and you actually asked me like which one I preferred or
cool.
what. Yeah, I remember that. I remember.
For your birthday?
What's that?
Was it for your birthday?
I think it was actually. I think it was a birthday gift. You brought them into the gym, I think, to show me they were.
That's where we hung out.
That's where we hung out. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, at the time too, but you were married at that point in time.
Was I married already?
Yeah, you and Troy were together. Yeah, and so it was you didn't really have the opportunity to see me out and about in town.
I would run into you guys every once in a while.
Every once in a while, we would run into you and your ex-husband floating around town, and we'd be, either starting the night or halfway through the evening time, 3 sheets to the wind. Most of the stories you heard and most of the experiences we're all like at the gym and we hung out because
next day
that's where your ex-husband wasn't going. So it was kind of like we had a chance to just sit back and just shoot the shit and tell stories over the weekend. And it was, I think that was really all of our training sessions were. It was just hey, what'd you do this weekend? And all of a sudden all the stories come out.
So funny.
And then it's now one of those things where some of those people are still in town. You know those people, and you at that point in time could probably
I don't see them. Thank God. Like we don't cross paths.
We don't cross paths. So tell the listeners what you got real estate. How'd you get into real estate and stuff?
How did I get? I mean, it was like I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I think I was 28 when I got licensed. And I halfway through college, I mean, I was snowboarding a lot. I dropped out a lot because I had to pay for college. So I was working a lot, that kind of thing.
Yep.
And then I had a friend who was a real estate, like Joel Rittmaster's executive assistant. And so she was making really good money for what she was doing. And I was like, I was working retail and waiting tables, and I could have worked retail forever. I loved it. Like, I loved working for Max. He's an incredible person. And, he's won like Philanthropist of the Year in Colorado and all this cool shit, right? And so I talked to her about it, and I was just like, I just need kind of like an adult job. And and one thing that you start recognizing your strengths, and my strengths really were like client retention, sales kind of thing. So like when I was waiting tables, I would do like two lunch shifts during the week and then dinner through the weekend, right? And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, after about 6 months, my tables were all the same people every Tuesday and Thursday. Like, it was wild. And so, like, do you remember Zan Sawyer? She created Gibbets. Women, Zan
no.
and Dan.
Okay.
Really?
I don't remember, no, but go for it.
Okay. They've been around forever. Dan Sawyer, I think, yeah. And so I met her there, and she would come in with her girlfriends, and she was pregnant, and it was like the end of her pregnancy, and she ordered a beer, and I got her a beer. And she was like, she's French, and you know what I mean? And her mom is, and she was like, wow, you didn't give me any shit about it. I'm like, it's not my place to give you shit about what you drink at your lunch. Yeah. So, I mean, it was just kind of this thing of like a mutual respect. And so I was good at that. And then same with working at Max, where high-end retail, it's a lot like Barney's used to be. And I worked like Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and I would have the same clients. They became clients like all of those days. So like on Sundays, especially because it was just me and another person in the store, that's kind of this window. And we would do huge amounts of sales like out of that shop on slower, like otherwise slower days. And so, so with real estate, that's really how I got into it. I was like, sales sound fun. The compensation is good, and so now it's been a minute. I think it's like 23 years or something that I've been doing it, 24 years.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And now it's all high-end. Well, Boulder's all mostly high-end real estate.
It's hard not. Yeah.
That's so that's been kind of cool to see that from a transition for you, as going from the student aspect because even when I left, I think you still were trying to figure that out.
Trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Trying to figure out what you wanted to do. But I think after I left, I think that's when you got your license, I think, and you started.
No, I had it, but it was.
Did you have it?
Oh, yeah, but I was still working. So I had my real estate license, and I was still waiting tables, and I was still working at Mac. Because my thing was.
That's right.
Yes. And so my thing is when I start making more per hour in real estate, then I'll quit these other jobs. So that took about a year, and then suddenly one day I was in there and I was like, so here I'm working for, back then, $9 an hour plus commission at Max. And I was like, but I could be showing houses and sell, a $400,000 house and make 10 grand. You know what I mean? So then it was like, oh, okay.
Got it.
So I pay my bills.
Yeah, exactly. So for the listener, if they want to come to Boulder, what would be some of your recommendations for those coming into Boulder for the first time? Like from a landscape or scenery perspective to like what restaurants would you recommend somebody who's like just coming in and wants to really experience what Boulder is?
Trip or like
like a weekend trip, like what's Boulder all about type of thing? Like what would they see?
So Boulder is really, it's an incredible little space. So we're a college town.
Yeah, and it's got its own bubble. Like literally Boulder has this bubble that sits on top of it, and literally the cell phone service cuts out as you exit and enter the bubble, and it restarts. It honestly has a bubble. I swear to God. It
does have a bubble. And so like we call it the recruiting hill, and you know what I'm talking about when you come over the hill.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you come over this hill on 36, and it's fucking wild. And I remember the first day I saw it, and like still every time you do it, it's the same. And you hit the top of the hill, and there's a scenic route, stop off that I've never done.
Vista Point, yeah.
That I've never done. And the whole valley opens up. And so you get like all of Boulder Valley and it's the beginning of the Rockies. So it's literally plains. You get, I think that's a doldrum, that hill. And then you're looking at Boulder Valley, and it's fucking gorgeous. And so you see, it's right where the mountains start. Like this is like 4th Street, and this is the mountains, goes this way. And so that's your introduction. I mean, even Coach Prime is like, that's where we tell everybody to miss.
Yeah. Tell everybody to stop in the Vista Point and watch.
Yeah. And then, because I think, like people can't believe it looks like a movie set. And so then I'm loving here. The Graduate Hotels bought the Boulderado, and so they're going to remodel it. It's going to look fantastic if you've ever seen any of their hotels. So I love the Boulderado for people who want that kind of historic look. It's an historic town, college town, but there's a lot going on. So we're not, we're the largest employer in the state with CU. And then we have aerospace, and we've got, NOAA, what's left of it. Like it's kind of been dragged, by this administration, but we've got tech here. We've got just people who are professional athletes and a lot of lifestyle moves. So like a lot of the people that, like, I even remember my mom at one point saying back in the day, she's like, we're at a coffee shop at 10 a.m. and it's full. And I don't think anything of it. And she goes, don't any of these people work? And I was like, oh yeah, maybe they don't work.
Yeah, probably not.
There's a lot over here. So they don't work. I don't think a lot of, and then a lot of people do. But I would say like stay at the Boulderado. They have my favorite martini, one of my 3 favorite martinis. I have 3 favorite martinis in town. Boulderado does one that's a Kettle One. I'm a Kettle One girl. Kettle One up, it's a little bit dirty, and then it's got truffle salt, which is so good, and blue cheese olives. I love that. And that's called the Spruce. And then, and it's very charming, very historic. I think that's a nice place to land, and it's walking distance to everything.
Yeah.
And then I'd like to bring people up to Carita. So Carita is my friend's restaurant, and it's on the 4th story of this building, and you can only have tops 5-story buildings in Boulder. And the views are, again, and Boulder is very much about the views, right? So up there, Flatirons, the sunsets. There's one of the peaks of the Flatirons. Every sunset looks like it's on fire, like the way that the sun hits it. It's a red rock, and so it's bright red, which is really cool, like glowing, which is super cool. So I like to bring people up there and do appetizers. And then we have like all sorts of great places. Like I just had some friends in town who were part of the Malibu fire, and they have relocated to Jackson, but I know them from 100 years ago. And they came into town, and we have amazing sushi in Colorado that people might not know that we have.
Surprisingly enough, but there's a lot of restaurants that fly that stuff in every single day.
Premium cuts. And every single day they fly in the fish. And it's because I think of the airport being an international hub or whatever. And so Curtis, what's Curtis's last name? Damn it. We worked together at Hapa back in the day. He was one of the sushi chefs. And now he opened up this restaurant that I love that's literally like the size of our kitchen. And, it's a small for a restaurant. It maybe has 8 little tables, right? So you're tight in there. It feels like you're in a city. And it's called Blowfish. And they have magical sushi, and I do the omakase there. It's really good. And then if people usually want to go for a hike, I always would say like the Sanitas Fire Trail, unless they're in really good shape and they can do the hard part of Sanitas, or Chautauqua again because it's beautiful. They want to do a longer hike on like the South Boulder the South Mesa Trail. So that's 4 hours, and you have somebody drop you off in Eldora, right? El Dorado Canyon.
Yep.
And then it's a 4-hour hike, and then you have brunch at the dining hall in Chautauqua, which is awesome. I would say go see a show at the Boulder Theater, because I mean, we went and saw Krongbin the other night. It was so good. You know, it's like they've restored a lot of it. They're getting ready for Sundance, which we have coming in 2027. Obviously, walk down Pearl Street Mall. That's kind of great. I like to, when I go down there, like there's a bunch of flagship stores that are, you know, the outdoorsy stuff, but like there's a lot of cool little locally owned shops as well. So it's an experience. Like it's a really beautiful
It
place.
is.
I think a lot of people get down.
I enjoyed it while I lived there
Mm-hmm.
for a number of reasons, but I mean, it is an outdoor person's, dream. As
Totally.
there's so much to do, and
It's charming.
the people are amazing. That live there. I mean, I all throughout Colorado, it's a great spot to live.
Campus is beautiful.
I will say that it's gotten a little bit too crowded from a traffic perspective too.
Which is weird, but we have 60,000 people a day that drive into town for work.
I know, it's nuts.
That's
So as you come into town, just know that traffic is going to be a little slow, but it is a gorgeous spot. But well, Jen, thank you. I love you so much.
I love you too.
It was I appreciate you coming on and chatting with me a little bit and sharing some stories and talking about it a little bit. But
I hope it wasn't too much inside stuff that your friends are like, or your listeners are like.
No, it's all good. That's the point of these. I kind of wanted something that was completely off the wall, completely different. And I had a friend of mine from Texas on last time I did this, and all he talked about was tequila and tacos from Austin. It was awesome. Like, and he shared stories about Matthew McConaughey because he used to live next to Matthew McConaughey's assistant and all that shit. And so he would tell stories about that. But anyway, so that's kind of what the point of these is, to kind of just have random conversations that I would not normally do on the show. So anyway, I love you and I appreciate you.
I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Tell Desi I said hi.
I will, definitely.